Hello, jewelry friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Jewelry Resellers podcast. My name is Desiree, and I am your jewelry reselling bestie. On today's episode, we're going to talk about everything resellers need to know about gold jewelry. Now, I'm not talking about gold tone jewelry, we're talking about precious metals. Actual gold, all right? Because I think this is something that a lot of us either we know a little bit about it, or maybe we know a little bit more than the average person. But I think that we really need to understand all of the, I guess, intricacies as it relates to solid gold and gold jewelry. All right, so we're going to talk about that today. Now, one of the things I do want to say is that I spent months trying to find an actual goldsmith who would be willing to talk to me on the podcast. I emailed a couple because it's not like there's a lot of goldsmiths out there, at least not that I could find. And so I emailed a couple. One never responded, and then another guy kind of wasn't too sure about, I guess, being on a podcast and sharing what he knows about gold. So what I did is I actually spent about 3 weeks researching this topic, and I'm going to share with you everything I know as it relates to real gold jewelry, or just gold, I guess, and the gold that is used in jewelry. And so I'm not a professional goldsmith, but I did do a deep dive on this topic. And so I want to share with you everything I know. Now, I'm saying all of this as a disclaimer because if there is something that may not be right, or maybe I got it wrong, or maybe I don't know the specifics, please let me know, because I want to make sure I'm giving resellers correct information as well as up to date information. But I think you will find this episode valuable because it's really just going to give us a foundational basic knowledge of gold. We're going to talk about the different types of gold that are used in jewelry. We're going to talk about karat and all kinds of things that I have learned. All right. And the other thing is, there is so much information that this podcast is actually going to be a two-parter. So today we're going to do part one. And let me jump over to my notes because I want to make sure that what I'm telling you, you have an understanding of the direction that I'm going with these two podcast episodes. So in this episode, we're going to talk about understanding the different types of gold in jewelry. And then we are also going to talk about in depth the differences between solid gold, gold plated, and gold filled jewelry, because I know a lot of us have questions as it relates to that. And then finally, we're going to dive deep into the carat system as it relates to gold jewelry. All right. And when I say carat, that's Karat. All right, so that's going to be covered today. Like I said, this is going to be a two-parter. So depending on when you're watching this, understand that there's quite a bit of information that I'm gonna be sharing with you. And if you are watching this after I've already posted part two, make sure that you watch both parts so you get the full picture as it relates to gold information and all the details and all of that. All right, so before we get into that today, I like to always remind you to head on over to our website, which is jewelryresellerspodcast.com, because over there you can listen to past episodes. I also have some informative blog articles that I try to post at least once a week. That is information that will be helpful to you as a jewelry reseller. On the website, you can also join our email newsletter list. And when you do that, you can get instant access to a download that I created, which is the 20 best-selling vintage jewelry brands that I think all resellers should know. This has been from my own research and my own personal experience. And like I said, you can get a copy of that list for free. All you got to do is head on over to the website, and that's jewelryresellerspodcast.com. All right, so let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So, like I said in the beginning, we are going to dive deep as it relates to gold jewelry. All right, so this podcast episode, really my goal was to give you everything that resellers need to know about real gold jewelry. Okay. And I think this is really important because a lot of times when we're outsourcing, we see gold jewelry and we don't know if it's real. We don't know what some stamps or markings could mean as it relates to gold jewelry and things like that. So I'm hoping that this is really going to decode everything for you and give you more confidence and more knowledge when you are looking at gold jewelry, buying and or selling, or in our case, reselling gold jewelry. All right, so let's go ahead and start with understanding the different types of gold in jewelry. All right, this is really important as a reseller, as a buyer, as a collector, because it affects everything, pricing, quality, and also what people are looking for. Because I have talked to buyers who are looking for very specific things as it relates to gold jewelry. All right, so we want to understand all of the different types of gold in jewelry because it does impact value and pricing. Gold jewelry varies significantly in value based on purity, which is measured in carats, and we're going to talk about that, and the specific type of gold used, such as solid gold, gold filled, or gold plated. And we're going to talk about that as well. Solid gold items, particularly 24 karat and 18 karat, are more valuable due to their high purity, while gold plated or gold filled pieces are often less expensive because they contain less pure gold. All right, for resellers, it's important to understand these differences because it helps in setting accurate prices and avoiding underselling or underpricing our valuable pieces. Okay, so this is really important to understand because remember, we're in this to make money and we don't want to shortchange ourselves in any way. Now, the other thing we want to think about is the quality and the durability as it relates to different types of gold because they have distinct durability levels. Solid gold, especially lower carats like 14 karat, is often more durable for everyday wear. Meanwhile, gold plated items are more prone to tarnishing or wear and are best suited for occasional or one time use. Now, knowing these distinctions will help resellers to recommend the right type of jewelry based on what the customer is looking for. And this will help to build trust and increase the likelihood of repeat business. Okay, so we really want to understand what people are looking for as it relates to gold. Okay, because and sometimes buyers don't even know themselves. Like you probably, in a lot of cases, will know more than the buyer, but most buyers, if they are looking for real gold, they have a preference to some degree. All right, so we want to think about the customer appeal and the trend relevance. Different types of gold appeal to different customer demographics and different trends. For example, yellow gold is timeless and appeals to vintage jewelry lovers, while rose gold has a more modern, trendy appeal for younger buyers. Now, for resellers, this knowledge helps in sourcing inventory that aligns with current trends and customer preferences, which ultimately will help us to make more sales. Now, the other thing that's important as it relates to understanding the different types of gold used in jewelry is customer education and satisfaction. All right, I talked about this a little bit earlier. We want to be able to educate our customers on the differences between, say, 18 karat gold and gold plated jewelry so they feel confident when they're buying or shopping with us. All right, this transparency will also help people to trust you, which really helps your reputation as a jewelry reseller. Now, the other thing too is customers usually want to know how to care for the piece if they don't know already. And they will ask you, well, how do I keep this clean? Or how do I take care of this, 14 karat gold necklace or whatever? So your knowledge as it relates to gold, the gold used in jewelry, will be very important as it relates to giving your buyer the best information so they are happy with their purchase. Okay, and finally, the other thing we want to think about as it relates to knowing about gold and being educated is so we can prevent being taken advantage of, fraud or someone trying to scam us and say, oh, this is, real gold, and whatever they're trying to do, right? So not that we have to be professional authenticators. I'm never saying that, but recognizing real gold is crucial to avoid unknowingly buying or selling counterfeit pieces. We want to be familiar with carat stamps, testing methods, and identifying real gold from imitation to protect us as resellers and also to protect our buyers. Okay, so, and we don't want to take any unnecessary, financial losses either. Because I've actually seen that happen where one reseller thought that she had real gold and she was actually selling it. She was doing a live show on Whatnot and she was saying, yes, this is real gold, this is a real gold chain, blah, blah, blah. And there were actually people in the chat of her live stream telling her, that doesn't look like real gold. So it was kind of embarrassing for her, but the thing is you want to avoid situations like that. You don't want to have your potential customers calling you out thinking that you're being dishonest or that you just don't know what you're talking about. All right, so understanding the different types of gold in jewelry provides critical insights that enable resellers to price, market, and sell their pieces effectively. It builds credibility, enhances customer relationships, and positions resellers as knowledgeable professionals in a competitive market. All right, so that is kind of the foundation of why we want to be very clear as it relates to gold in gold jewelry. And remember, we're talking about actual precious metals, real gold here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with, I think this is a really good place to start actually, which is the differences between solid gold, gold plated, and gold filled jewelry. All right, so I'm going to give you some key points as it relates to these three types of gold jewelry because I have them written down in my notes. And so keep these in mind when you are outsourcing and understand that there are some very distinct differences between these three. And I know some of us may already know this and some of us may not. I know a little bit about this, but now that I've done the research, I know a lot more. And so I want to share that with you. All right, so let's talk about solid gold. We're going to start there. Okay, so the definition of solid gold jewelry is made entirely of gold or gold alloy, which is a mix of gold with other metals. All right, it's labeled by its karat, which is Karat, which indicates its purity, such as 24 karat, which is pure gold, 18 karat, which is 75% gold, or 14 karat, which is 58.3% gold. All right. And those are probably going to be the ones that we see the most. I think I've seen 10 karat too. Well, I'm pretty sure I have seen 10 karat as well. But most people are looking for these three types as it relates to solid gold. All right. So next, we want to think about the durability. Solid gold is generally durable, especially at lower carats like 14K or 10K, which contain more alloy metals that make it more resistant to scratching and bending. All right, so that's why a lot of people specifically choose 14 karat gold, just because it looks nice and it can take a little bit of a beating before it starts to get messed up or damaged or scratched or anything. Now, the other distinction is the value. Because of its high gold content, solid gold jewelry is the most valuable option and retains its value well over time. And I think we all know this. You can have a piece of 14 karat gold that is antique and it will probably be more valuable now than than what it was when it first was made. All right, so there's definitely that value appreciation as it relates to solid gold. All right, the other thing is care. While it's resistant to tarnish, solid gold can scratch and it can bend, especially in the higher carats. Regular cleaning and polishing are definitely recommended. Again, depending on what carat, type of jewelry you're dealing with, it may or may not be easy to damage or, like I said, scratch. Okay. Now, the pros of solid gold are, of course, its value. It's high quality, long lasting, and it's hypoallergenic. So a lot of people do have metal allergies, and so they will seek out specifically 14 karat gold or higher. The other thing I want to talk about as it relates to solid gold is that for the most part, people know what it is and they understand that it's going to, require higher premium pricing. All right. Most people know that. And so they understand that obviously this is going to be a much more expensive jewelry piece. All right. And that leads me to the cons of solid gold jewelry, which is typically it's the most expensive option, with higher carats being softer and more prone to scratches like we talked about. But some people have no problem investing in a higher priced piece because of all of the things that we talked about. Okay. All right. So that was solid gold. So next, we are going to move on to gold plated jewelry. All right. So let's talk about the definition of what gold plated jewelry is, which is made by applying a thin layer of gold over a base metal like brass or copper through a chemical or electroplating process. All right. So I wanted to read that slow because I want to make sure we understand what we're talking about here, because I have heard resellers say, oh, it's gold electroplate. All right. Or gold plated, whatever. And so the gold layer is usually very thin, which keeps costs low. Okay. So that is gold plated jewelry. Now, let's talk about the durability of gold plated jewelry, which, since the gold layer is very thin, gold plated jewelry can wear away relatively quickly, exposing the base metal underneath. And I'm sure we've all seen that when we're outsourcing or maybe even on some gold plated pieces in our personal collections. It's more prone to tarnishing, especially with frequent wear. Okay. Now let's talk about the value. Gold plated jewelry is the most affordable option because of the low gold content, but it also has the least resale value and is not typically considered an investment. All right. So now I have had lots of gold plated jewelry in my lifetime, both, for personal use and for reselling. And I agree. Gold plated jewelry tends to only look good for a short time, when it's brand new. So it's not something that I think people are looking for, long term, as an heirloom or something like that. All right, so let's talk about the care. To prolong its life, gold plated jewelry should be kept away from water, perfumes, lotions, and sweat. Gentle cleaning is advised to avoid rubbing off the thin gold layer. All right, so again, this is something that is probably not going to be very durable and long lasting. However, gold plated jewelry is very beautiful. I've had pieces, like I said, and they are probably in their best shape when they are brand new. So the pros of gold plated jewelry: it's affordable. It comes in a variety of designs and styles, and it's good for trendy or occasional pieces. Now the cons are: gold plated jewelry is less durable. It can tarnish or wear off. It's lower quality. And base metals may cause allergies for some people when that plating wears off. And like I said, it's not really something that you would keep for a long time, because over the years it just won't look as good as good as it did when you first um, buy it. All right, so now let's move on to gold filled jewelry. All right, so the definition of gold filled jewelry consists of a thick layer of gold, usually at least 5% of the total weight, mechanically bonded to a base metal, typically brass. Unlike gold plating, the gold layer in gold filled jewelry is much thicker and more securely bonded. Okay, so I'm going to read this again. Gold filled jewelry consists of a thick layer of gold, usually at least 5% of the total weight, mechanically bonded to a base metal, typically brass. Unlike gold plating, the gold layer in gold filled jewelry is much thicker and more securely bonded. Okay, so that's the definition of gold filled jewelry. All right, so now I've heard people say that gold filled jewelry is typically heavier weight than, say, gold plated. I don't know specifically. I guess it would depend on the particular piece, the style, the design of it, but I wouldn't necessarily use weight as the only determining factor when you're trying to figure out if a piece is gold filled or gold plated. Okay. So the next thing we want to think about as it relates to gold filled jewelry is it's much more durable than gold plated and can withstand daily wear. It won't chip or flake as easily and can last many years with proper care. All right, so it's way more durable than gold filled, and it can withstand years of daily wear, which is good. All right, let's talk about the value of gold filled jewelry. It's more valuable than gold plated due to its higher gold content, but it is less expensive than solid gold. All right, it's a good alternative for those looking for quality at a more affordable price. All right, so that's really good to keep in mind when we have buyers who may be looking for, a better quality type of jewelry. Now, when it comes to the care of gold filled jewelry, it requires similar care to solid gold and it can be gently cleaned without worry of the gold layer wearing away. But you do want to avoid harsh chemicals, lotions, and moisture to help maintain its shine. All right, so that's really good. The pros of gold filled jewelry are that it's durable, affordable, long lasting, and hypoallergenic. The cons of gold filled jewelry are that it's still not as valuable or as durable as solid gold, but it's a solid middle ground between gold plated and solid gold options. Okay, so it's a nice kind of in between if you have somebody who doesn't want to spend the money, but they want something that's going to be more durable, more long lasting, and maintain its beauty without it being like so cheap that the gold wears off. Okay, so these are some things to think about. Okay, not only when we're communicating with our buyers about the different types of gold, but also, like I said, when we're sourcing, when we're educating ourselves about different pieces and how they're made and the materials being used. Okay, so let's go ahead and summarize all of this. We're summarizing solid gold, gold plated, and gold filled jewelry. Solid gold is the highest quality and most valuable, ideal for lasting investment pieces. Gold plated is budget friendly, but not necessarily as durable, making it better for occasional or one time use. And gold filled offers a nice balance of affordability and durability, providing a longer lasting alternative to gold plating while being more affordable than solid gold. All right, so that's solid gold, gold plated, and gold filled. All right, so each type has its unique benefits suited to different purposes and budgets, making it important to choose based on your customers' needs and what they intend to, use the piece for. Is it just for a one-time event, or is this something that they would like to pass down, in their family or something like that? All right, so now we are going to talk about the karat system. All right, and this is Karat. Now, this is very different than Carat. And I'm going to break those down because I know it can be very confusing because it's basically the same word, just spelled differently, and both of them apply to jewelry. So let's go ahead and get get into the specifics of the karat system. Okay, so the karat system with a K is a standard measurement that denotes the purity of gold in a piece of jewelry or other item. Gold purity is expressed in carats, which is KARATS, which divides gold into 24 parts. Okay, so with 24 carats, 24K being the purest gold. The higher the carat, the purer the gold content in the item. Okay, so I don't want anybody to be confused because I was confused at first before I really, started learning this. Okay, so carat with the K is purity as it relates to gold. Carat with the K only applies to gold. Okay, now let's talk about carat with the C, CARAT. That is a measurement of physical size. It is actually a measurement of weight used to describe diamonds and other gemstones. All right, so that is CARAT. All right, so carat is only used, and this is carat with the K, is only used to measure purity of gold. Carat with the C is used to measure the weight of gemstones, most commonly diamonds. Okay, so do not get those confused because there is a definite distinction here. Okay, so let's talk about carats. KARATS. Okay, so we're going to break this down because these are the different types of carat stamps that you will see, or carat markings that you will see on gold jewelry. Number one is 24 karat gold. Number two is 18 karat gold. Number three is 14 karat gold. And number four is 10 karat gold. Okay, so let's break all of those down. 24 karat gold, this is pure gold, meaning 24 out of 24 parts of gold, or 24 out of 24 parts are gold with no other metals mixed in. It is bright yellow in color, soft, and highly malleable, making it less ideal for jewelry that will be worn daily since it can easily be scratched or bent. Okay, so that's 24 karat gold. Next, we have 18 karat gold, contains 18 parts gold and 6 parts other metals, making it 75% pure gold. The higher level of purity makes it valuable and lustrous, but more durable than 24 karat. It's often used in high quality jewelry. Okay, are you still with me? Next, we have 14 karat gold, which I think this is probably what most of us are familiar with. 14 karat gold contains 14 parts gold and 10 parts other metals, or about 58.3% gold. It's more durable than 18 karat or 24 karat gold and is popular for fine jewelry due to its balance of beauty, durability, and affordability. Okay. Finally, we have 10 karat gold. Contains 10 parts gold and 14 parts other metals, making it 41.7% gold. This is the minimum standard for gold in the United States. It's less expensive, very durable, and often used for affordable or high wear jewelry. Though it has a paler color due to the lower gold content. Okay, so this is the minimum standard for gold in the United States. So typically you won't see anything less than 10 karat. Okay, so I hope that that was understandable because I know it's a lot of numbers and sometimes this can be very overwhelming, but like I said, at least I was able to kind of break it down so we can kind of um, make the correlation between the numbers and the parts of pure gold, or mixed other metals that have been mixed in. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about why alloys are used in lower carat gold. Okay. And alloys are basically just other metals. Okay. And the first reason is strength and durability. Pure gold 24K is soft and easily damaged, so other metals like copper, silver, nickel, zinc, or brass are added to improve hardness and durability. There's also color variation. Alloys can alter the color of gold. For instance, adding copper produces rose gold, while adding palladium or nickel creates white gold. I find this so fascinating, right? So it was like when I was doing my research, I was like, oh, wow. So it was like the more I was learning, the more I wanted to learn. Okay. And number three, as it relates to understanding carats, higher carat gold, like 18 carat and 24 carat, is more valuable and generally more expensive as it contains more pure gold, like we have learned. Lower carat options like 10K and 14K offer an affordability and durability, which makes them more practical. Okay, so I think we kind of understand that. Okay, so let's talk about identification and markings. When it comes to gold jewelry, if it is real gold, it often comes stamped with a carat mark, such as 10K, 14K, or 18K, or 24K. Alternatively, it might have a number indicating purity as parts per thousand. Now, I have seen this and I didn't know what it meant, but now I do. So sometimes you will see a stamp of 585, okay, and that is for 14 karat because it's 58.5% gold. Or you will see a stamp of 750, and that is for 18K or 75% gold. All right. So these are things I think you will just learn over time. The more you start to research and study about gold jewelry, you will see some of these markings, especially on some older pieces too. These markings will help resellers and buyers quickly identify the purity and consequently the value of the gold item. Okay, so the carat system gives a clear understanding of the gold content, helping both buyers and sellers evaluate value, durability, and suitability for different types of jewelry. Okay, so you can see this is definitely, there's a lot to learn here as it relates to gold jewelry, but I find this stuff so fascinating. I really enjoyed researching this because, like I tell you guys all the time, the more I learn about jewelry, the more I learn how much I don't know. All right. So now we are going to get into the most popular types of gold used in jewelry, which are yellow gold, white gold, and rose gold. Okay. Each offers a unique aesthetic appeal. All right. And now, I really like rose gold, and I know there was a time when it was very trendy. I want to say in the late 90s, where it was like kind of everywhere. But I know a lot of people just prefer the yellow gold, and I think it's just a matter of preference. But we're going to talk about, or we're going to break down the different types of gold: yellow, white, and rose, and we're going to talk about the distinctions between the three. All right, so let's start with yellow gold, which is the most classic and traditional form of gold, recognizable by its warm, rich yellow color. It's created by alloying pure gold with metals like copper and zinc to increase durability. All right, we also have the purity options commonly available in 18K and 14K, which we talked about that. Pure 24 karat yellow gold is rare in jewelry due to its softness. Popularity, yellow gold has a timeless appeal. I think this really much, everybody is familiar with it, and I think a lot of people like it. And I personally think that yellow gold looks beautiful on all skin tones. All right. It's also a popular choice for engagement rings, wedding bands, and high end jewelry. Finally, we have the pros, which are hypoallergenic, requires less maintenance, and it is classic and versatile. And the cons are the higher carats can scratch easily, like we have talked about, and also it's more expensive. All right, next up we have white gold. White gold has a silvery white appearance similar to platinum. It's created by alloying pure gold with metals like palladium or nickel, which lend a cool tone to the gold. Many pieces are plated with rhodium to enhance brightness and resistance to scratches. Uh, when it comes to white gold, purity options are basically 18K and 14K. The lower carats are often more durable because they contain a higher amount of alloy metals. All right. The necklace I'm actually wearing is 18 karat white gold, and I really love it because I just think it's so pretty. All right. So the popularity of white gold has become one of the most popular choices for contemporary and minimalist jewelry, including engagement rings and earrings. The pros are an affordable alternative to palladium. It has a modern look and it's very durable, which I agree. Um, the cons are rhodium plating can wear off over time and may need to be reapplied, and nickel alloys can cause allergies in sensitive skin. All right, so some people could have an allergy to white gold. Okay, let's talk about rose gold. Rose gold is created by alloying gold with a higher percentage of copper, giving it a distinct pinkish red hue. The copper also adds strength, making it relatively durable. Rose gold is commonly found in 18 karat and 14 karat. Higher carats are softer and have a softer pink color, while lower carats are stronger and slightly more copper toned. Now, the popularity of rose gold is a lot of people find it more romantic, and it also tends to be more popular with the younger generations. Okay. I think that it's just something that's different and it's more affordable. So that's why it appeals to a younger demographic. All right. So the pros are more durable, affordable. It's hypoallergenic as long as it does not have nickel. And it does have a distinct look for for people who want something different from traditional gold. The cons are that it can be difficult to match rose gold with other metals. So if you have a rose gold, let's say necklace, and then you have a rose gold ring, if they're by two different designers or brands, the rose gold may not completely match, but that may or may not be a deal breaker for some people. Now, this other thing I wanted to throw in there, or this other type of gold, which is green and black gold. Okay, this is less common, but this does exist. Green gold is created by alloying pure gold with silver or cadmium. Green gold has a soft greenish tint, and it's typically used as an accent in fine jewelry or custom designs rather than a primary metal. Now, I don't know if I've seen green gold in person, or if I did, I didn't know that's what I was looking at. I probably have seen it and just didn't know. Okay. But I think this is interesting to point out that it's usually used as an accent in custom design. So it's probably not something you're going to typically see on, a lot of jewelry pieces that are out there. Now, next, I wanted to throw in black gold, which is achieved through various techniques, including alloying gold with cobalt or plating yellow gold with black rhodium. Black gold has an edgy, contemporary appeal and is used in luxury or statement pieces. Now, I have seen some celebrity jewelry made with black gold, and if I can find one, I will throw up a picture. But like I said, you don't see that very often either. And I do remember seeing a celebrity piece made with black gold, and of course, it was something custom and very unique and different. All right, so let's go ahead and summarize all of this. So, yellow gold is classic and often symbolizes luxury and tradition. White gold offers a sleek, modern look, often chosen for a platinum like effect at a more affordable price. Rose gold is trendy, unique, and romantic, appealing to a younger audience or those looking for something very distinct. And then we have green and black gold, which adds more artistic flair, appealing to those seeking rare and unique customized jewelry. All right, so every type of gold has its unique beauty and qualities, and choosing one often comes down to a personal taste, lifestyle, desired style, making these types of gold versatile for a wide range of jewelry options. Again, depending on what you're looking for, what your buyer is looking for, what you have access to as it relates to sourcing gold jewelry as well. All right, so this is part one of everything resellers need to know about real gold jewelry, because I know I covered a lot of information in this episode. And so I didn't want to overwhelm you or make this episode really, really long by just cramming in so much stuff. So coming up in part two, we are going to talk about how gold types impact the resale value and customer appeal. Remember, because that's always what it's about for us, is reselling our jewelry and getting the most profit we can. And the other things we're going to cover in part two are tips for authenticating gold jewelry. We're going to talk about markings, and we're going to talk about how to test gold jewelry. And then what else do I have here? Oh, and then I'm going to throw in some care tips for caring for the different types of gold jewelry. All right. So I know I've done an episode on cleaning jewelry before reselling, but this section in part two of this episode is going to talk about specifically how to care for the different types of gold jewelry. All right. So I hope you come back next week to catch part two. Or if you are watching this later on, maybe I've already posted part two, make sure that you go and watch part two, because there's a lot more information as it relates to gold jewelry. And I really think that resellers need to know this stuff because, like I said, this could be the thing that helps you find pieces or sell pieces that you come across, maybe in sourcing or maybe whatever, and you can get the most profit possible for those pieces, right? So everything always falls back to how knowledgeable and how educated we are as it relates to our jewelry that we are selling or reselling. Okay, so I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think as it relates to solid gold jewelry. Is this something that you resell? Do you have solid gold pieces in your inventory? And is this something that maybe you're considering now that you've learned a little bit about it? You know, if you don't have any solid gold pieces in your inventory. For me, it tends to fluctuate. Sometimes I will have pieces and then they'll sell, and then I won't have pieces and then I'll find pieces. So I don't really have a consistent supply of real gold jewelry in my inventory. But like I said, it just kind of depends on what I find when I'm outsourcing. All right. So thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. And I will see you in part two.